This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very... Hello everybody, and welcome back to what is another quick video. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Thank you very much for watching all the videos. Hope you're learning plenty about the horses. At this moment, I know I certainly am. I learn something every day. I try and look at these things. That's when I'm not distracted by other people talking about what I'm saying on social media. Despite me only having around 400 followers on social media, I just try and use it to disseminate my own content, really. I don't like to try. I talk to very few people on it. You know, and I always tend to think that it is a bit of a cesspit, really. Twitter, especially. But some people seem to have been a bit, I don't know what the term is, rattled by what I've been saying. It discusses the same old problem that surrounds the world, really. Freemasonry. And its influence in horse racing this time, and mainly, specifically, the horse racing media. You know, I think there's some very crafty people in the horse racing media. It's hard to tell what exactly they are. Are they punters? Are they content creators? Who are they paid by? How do they make money? Who are they affiliated to? And some of them, I just feel they are all so interclosely connected that there has to be an underpinning ideology around them. They all talk in the same language. They all reinforce each other's opinions. And that's because I feel they are trying to maintain a specific narrative and a specific role in the theatre of horse racing, let's just say. The first two I'm going to take a look at are two affable Irish fellas. I don't really know who they are. David Jennings is one. I think he's associated with the Racing Post somehow. And the other one is a constant theme through both segments, a guy called Johnny Dineen, who is, I don't know what he is, an Irish fella. Affable Irishman, don't know anything about him, never met the man, don't know who he is or what he is, but he's very interesting because he has a very unhealthy habit of selecting awful horses and encouraging vulnerable people to part with money they can't afford on them. The first one, and he's also in cahoots here with the Racing Post, it seems. The other one, little Irish fella that stood next to him. And it's very strange, really, very strange. He comes on, he says he's got a stone in hand, everybody rushes on. The horse, he proves his judgment is no good. The horse gets absolutely slammed all over the track. And I comment on Twitter what I think they're up to. And that tweet that I sent was somehow seen by over 18,000 people once I saw it. And that's despite only having 400 followers. And they had to address the situation. They had to address what had been said. Because people were tending to agree with me. So this is what they said.
And the thing about it was, like, your theory was spot on. Like, it was, if anybody the back wheel have won at Punchtown on Sunday, like, turning in, you're going, Johnny Dineen, marry me.
I mean, it looked the winner. It did, to be fair. It was like, I don't know, but like at the end of the day, you don't get paid at the same time.
You don't get paid.
You don't get paid. And it's no good saying it was mentioned, won whatever it was mentioned or whatever. It didn't win, full stop.
Scant consolation.
I suppose so. Like, but look, to be honest, like, you'd have for this, I had some fella on there one night I know what he was saying. He said it was a Freemason or something. He was Freemason. I didn't even know what a Freemason was.
Did you look it up? You did?
I did, yeah. I still don't know what it is, actually.
After looking it up.
Yeah, I've something about a cult or something like that anyway. But it wasn't all that bad. When I was looking at the definition of it, I thought it was a real bad joke, but it's not too... I don't know what they are, actually, to be honest. I still don't know what they are.
Okay.
Maybe I am a Freemason.
So tell me this, We'll Have One was beaten, but how was your week?
Truly incredible. I think you're better to say that is truly incredible. Maybe I am a Freemason, says the man, Johnny Dineen. It reminded me of a sketch of Father Ted. I couldn't work out which one was Father Dougal, though. I think they were both trying to play Father Dougal simultaneously. I couldn't work it out. Their body language was very defensive. You know, if you look, both of them are in fact hiding their hands. One of them's got their arms folded, and the other one is got his arms underneath his sort of arms, underneath his one of his hands isn't displaying. The unseen hand at play is what I'm saying. So they're both sort of saying they don't know anything about Freemasonry while performing the unseen hand on video. I mean, I don't understand why they would expect people not to know that exists. There is so much evidence on the internet to suggest that it is what it is, but they still do it. The horse gets beat by 16 lengths, and the little fella on the right comes back on and says, "Your analysis was spot on." Absolutely incredible. Right, we're going to move on to another two now. Well, one of them's the same man, Brother Johnny Dineen, is in this clip as well. This piece of audio is a guy called Christopher Poole. I don't know. I didn't know who he is. I've had some weird interactions with the brother before on Twitter. It's very he is overly profane. You know, he's overly profane to people, which would indicate to me that he is that's not how he speaks at all in real life. It's a persona. So basically, I found out through reading somebody else's posts that this guy Christopher Poole is in fact a trader for a tax evading bookmaker, one of the many offshore bookmakers based in Gibraltar. So what they in fact do is they take money out of England, and none of it goes back into the infrastructure of England because they're based in a tax haven. So all the money is purely one way. You know, these people make money off their vulnerable addicts because they don't take bets off losers, off winners. People get in front with these people and they will close their account down or heavily restrict them, you know, and this is the guy that sort of does this. So what we've got here is a person who to me has shown he knows very little about horses, being encouraged by an offshore parasite gambling trader to give tips to people in England. And what on earth is all that about? You know, so it's all very weird, very surreal. You know, and these people, once again, this was sent to me by somebody on social media. They said, "You've got to listen to this." They've basically talked about you for 4 or 5 minutes on social media. And this is what they said. Absolutely incredible piece of audio. Little old Newman.
A couple of things to mention. Firstly, the nutcase that keeps calling us Masons, right? And I see you gave him a mention on Up the Ante.
Oh, right, yeah, that's right.
Made me laugh. So this fella, Paul Newman's called it. I follow the belly. Every week he says, "You Masons, like you putting people away because you're part of the brotherhood and that, right?" And I thought it was a joke account. I thought it was a joke account, but he's not the full shilling, clearly, but he's a real person. So he seems to think that horse racing is run all by a group of Masons. We know the results, right? I'm in league with Johnny. Johnny's in league with me. There's no battle. There's no battle. Bookmakers versus punters. We all know the result, right? And we all get together, right? Well, if you're listening, Paul, I know very little about the Masons. I know that Fred and Barney used to wear those hats in the Flintstones, and I think that was the Flintstone Masonic Lodge. The other thing I know about the Masons is my now wife. When we were first together, she worked at a golf club in England, and they all they come out there. I'd pick her up about 1 o'clock in the morning. They'd be pissed out their heads, these members of the golf club, and they'd get into their cars. They could barely beat the thing. I said, how the fuck do these people not get nicked? They're Masons. That was what I that was all I knew about Masons. Yeah, the Coppers could have had a free run. Camberley Heath Golf Club. Here, I'll give it a mention. Could have had a free run, the Coppers there, but they left them alone because they were all part of the Masons. But I've never been invited to Masons. Johnny, are you a Mason?
No, well, my membership is definitely after lapsing. The only thing I know about Freemasons is Michael Stout is I think he's a Freemason, is he? And some of them.
I honestly don't know. I'm assuming this is like wealthy, sort of like a cabal, sort of like a wealthy people that
yeah. It sounds like a cult of money men, maybe. Or
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you give
sure
him a nod, and we'll sign that deal, and you know.
Yeah. Like, and you look after my young fella. He's tick stupid, but we need to get him a job.
Yes,
you know what I mean? That
exactly.
Kind of
He's bad. Yeah, massive coke addict, my son. He needs a job. Yeah, go on, he's in. We'll get him. So that's what the Masons are. So if you're listening, Paul Newman at Follow the Belly, I can promise you, I've never been a Mason. I've got no fucking money for starters, right? So leave us alone. Stop calling us Masons. You bloody idiot. Anyway, right. More importantly, Johnny, you're 2 point and 1 point.
Again, I'm sure people will agree, a truly incredible piece of audio there. I was absolutely astounded when I heard it. You know, the lies contained in that clip. You know, I thought that was textbook Father Dougal. That was guffawing all the way through it. I thought it was absolutely embarrassing that two controlled out people have been forced into the open in such a way that I felt sorry for them. Really, it was quite interesting. I thought if people analyse the audio, I think they found it sounded very unsure of what they were saying. In the first half of the clip, there was no umming and ahhing, and there was no delays in the conversation. But in the second part, when they were making up their stories about what they pretended to know about Freemasonry in horse racing, Michael Stout trains at a place called Freemasons Lodge. But somehow the Bet Victor head trader doesn't know that Michael Stout's a Freemason, even though he trains at a place called Freemasons Lodge. You know, these people are pretending not to know anything. So it is interesting. They are what they are. I would be fairly certain that these three fellas are Freemasons. You know, other people, I'm sure, will take different views, and that is what the world goes round. To me, I'm just pleased that the craft is being talked about in horse racing circles. To me, Freemasonry is endemic in all walks of life, not just horse racing. It is definitely endemic in the gambling sector. Definitely endemic in the gambling sector. The way they equate losing with enjoyment. You know, have to have enjoyment. They refer to their gambling products as games and things like that. You know, they're not games, they're gambling. You know, but they want losing responsibly, all that sort of stuff. We'll happily take a little bit of. We'll happily give you a little bit a day every day and be happy with that. No, you know that's responsible gambling to me. Is the problem gamblers they are looking to target with responsible gamblers are the winners, the people that are in front of these people, and they are the people that are problem gamblers to them. People that are showing a profit, they're taking out more than they're putting in. To me, it's fairly straightforward all day long. What these people are up to. Other people, of course, will take a totally different view, which is fine. I just want to run you through a couple of things that I found. The Provincial Grand Lodge of Lincolnshire, a call to all Freemasons. The power of social media is yours for the taking. This was written on July the 14th, 2023. What they're trying to hide behind there is Lincolnshire Freemasonry account, just giving people encouragement to set up pages about their own lodges and things like that. But the headline, the compassing headline, is there really for the main thrust of the article. Social media is yours for the taking. You know. What else? Freemasons say they're needed now more than ever. So why are their ranks dwindling? This was written in 2020, 4 years ago. Basically, a lot of people say to me, why is it always the same people? Why is it always the same people? People around the racing circles I'm on about, on social media. Everybody knows this goes on that aren't involved in it. And people are very sceptical and critical of it. But they still follow them, they still consume them, they still listen to them. Rather than what they should do, really, in my view, is ostracise them. Have nothing to do with them, you know. And the reason it is the same people all the time, the reason Brother Dineen has done something like 30 Cheltenham previews, is the dwindling numbers. No other reason. There's just not as many of them as there were then. And that's why they pull out the same old tired faces are across all the outlets. You know, it's just what it is. What I'm gonna suggest people read 4 books, and then I'm going to end this video. The first one is I'm going to put links in the description to all these books. Morals and Dogma of the Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, written by a man called Albert Pike. I believe that people should read this book if they're going to try and get to grips with Freemasonry as a non-Mason. They really do need to understand what these people are all about. So I would suggest people read or read Morals and Dogma of the Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. Another book I suggest people read is The Unseen Hand. The Unseen Hand, written by a man called A. Ralph Epperson. An absolutely fantastic book, without any shadow of a doubt. People will see that it really does go through history, and it's a very interesting view of history, really. And I think it's people very much definitely need to read this book in their lives, without any shadow of a doubt. The second two, I'm a bit more specific with what we've talked about in this video. First book is a history of Irish secret societies, just what they've been up to all through history, their rise and progress, written by a man called Captain HPC Pollard. Fantastic book. Former late of the staff of the Chief of Police in Ireland. You'll see there, again, that this book will go through the role these people have played in the secret societies of Ireland. I'm waiting for it to load because it sort of loads the pages in, you see. It's so incredibly slow. It's a 344-page book. I'm just trying to show you some of the indexes. There you go, and the contents of what people are expecting. It tells you all about the Masonic roles in Sinn Féin and the IRA, the attitude of the American societies and all that. The psychology of Irish crime. You know, very interesting book, without any shadow of a doubt. Very interesting. I suggest people definitely read this book. And the other book I suggest people read is called Ireland, Land of the Pharaohs. The book is written in 2005, quite a recent book, this one, by a man called Andrew Power, trying to make a case for Ireland being Atlantis, basically. There's a few people on this planet that think Ireland is a very mystical place. You know, they're just pretending to be Father Dougal, some of these people, you know. Some of these people in Ireland are very adept. People only need to look at some of the people in the Fabian Society throughout history to know that there are some very adept people in Ireland, and they are not to be underestimated under any circumstances. You know, this book just takes you through the links between the Atlantean ideology and Ireland. A fantastic book, really, and a brilliant read. It's a great story. if nothing else, even though it probably all it is based purely in fantasy. But it's always good to know what these people believe, or else how can people fight it? Right, I'm going to leave this video now. I've already banged on for a lot longer than what I wanted to bang on about this. Take care, everybody. Have a fantastic Thursday afternoon. We're heading towards the Cheltenham Festival now. We're not long to do now. Hopefully there'll be plenty of racing content. Double handful is hoping. My good colleague, Stephen Allpress, and good friend, is chomping at the bit, really. He's on about starting to send me his audio on a Sunday, once he knows what he's running for the Supreme Novices Hurdle on the first day. I will do the same. I probably might do some sort of live stream over the next day or two, just to see where all my 40 or 50 horses, definites and maybes, are where they are over the next 4 or 5 days. But for now, I'm going to leave this video here. Thank you very much for watching. What I will do at the end of this video is I'll put a link to a video where Betfair Freemason. I think anybody who works in the controlled industry, I would be amazed they're not Freemason. I really would. That's just my view on it, until proven otherwise. People will see about morals and dogma. They will see that these people are trained to lie to non-Masons. So when they say they're a non-Mason, they're just lying. They can't reveal themselves, really. Some of the penalties for a Mason revealing themselves to a non-Mason are very severe, and they're all outlined in Morals and Dogma. So for now, I'll leave this video here, the video of Tony Calvin, where I got Simon Knott, another controlled Freemason, I would say, from Star Sports. He's on the Star Sports banner, somewhere along the lines, and he interviews Freemasons in racing and disguises them as gamblers. They're Freemasons. And he interviewed Tony Calvin. He don't interview every gambler on the planet. He only interviews gamblers in their circle, You never interview people that he's not complicit with, And he interviewed he's interviewed all sorts of rogues. I see he's even managed to somehow get on there. That's how I knew. That's how I knew that Simon Knott was in on it when he interviewed him. So basically, I'll put an interview of a question I asked on their phoning that they used to do with Tony Calvin, gambling people or whatever it's called. I don't listen to any of their content or watch it. I wouldn't advertise it. I don't know where to find it. I'd suggest people avoid it if they can. But for now, I'm going to leave this video here. Take care, everybody, and have a fantastic day. Goodbye.